We'll talk a little college football. You got a ton of bowl games coming up. Rod Gilmore does a great job, ESPN college football analyst. He'll be on the call for the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic on ESPN Radio, along with the Hawaii Bowl, the Citrus Bowl, presented by Overton's, and that'll be on ESPN television. Rod, good to catch up, my friend. How you been?
Hey, Rich, I'm doing well. How about yourself, and happy holidays?
You too, my friend. I appreciate it. Good to catch up, and you're going to be busy, which is always a plus, right? I mean, that's always good. They keep you traveling. I made this joke about an hour ago. When I was growing up, there were maybe 6 or 7 bowl games. Now I'm losing track, Rod. There's like 37.
Oh, no. I think we're 41 or 42 now.
Oh, all right. There you go. So you got me beat by 5.
Yeah. It's nuts. I mean, I'm like you. Back in the day, you could count them on 1 or 2 hands and be done with it. Now it's like, good luck keeping up.
Yeah, well, you got some good ones coming up as well. So let's get to a couple of these real quick because I know we're a little tight on time. USC Ohio State. How about the tear that Barrett's been on of late? I mean, the numbers are gaudy, and at first glance, when you look at him, you didn't think it was an NFL prospect after the Michigan and Clemson game. But again, boom, look what happened earlier in the season against Oklahoma and then to Penn State. What's your thought on Ohio State and Barrett right now?
Well, I think he's really been resilient, and he's bounced back. He had a couple of tough games in there that really made people question him. And if you go back into early November before the Iowa game, you looked at it and you said, hey, he's right in there for the Heisman. And then the Iowa game took him out of it. But he bounced back from that. I mean, you saw his performance, against Michigan and his performance against Wisconsin. He certainly bounced back from that and had a great year. And it's disappointing that he had the Iowa game because otherwise I think it would have been a real battle between Barrett and I'm losing the name.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield, yeah. It would have been a real battle for them for the Heisman. So that's unfortunate, but I think he'll be good to go. My only concern about Ohio State in this game is what happens between now and then. Do we have any number of juniors declare that they're coming out for the draft? They get a little distracted. Some choose not to play. If any of that happens, then, I start to like USC better. But otherwise, I think it'll be a fantastic game.
Let's jump. And I know you said you got Fresno State and Hawaii, which should be a track me as well because Fresno State scores a ton of points. Hawaii's dropped 5 straight, but obviously love to get a win in a bowl game in their backyard. But Notre Dame and LSU, and I think everything LSU's gone through this year, to me, this is a good test, a good litmus test going forward. They win 9 games, 6 of 7 to close it out. We already know what transpired with Miles. So to me, I think this is a good litmus test for LSU against Notre Dame.
Yeah, let me hit one thing quickly on the Houston-Fresno State game.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver. He won the Outland Trophy, fantastic defensive lineman, first sophomore to win it. And if there's one reason to watch this game, it's because, personally, watching him on tape, I think he's the best player in America.
Really?
And Baker Mayfield gets the Heisman, but if you enjoy defensive play and you want to talk about a guy who's very likely going to be the number 1 pick or a top 5 pick next year in the draft, it's Ed Oliver. He is unbelievable inside and worth the time on Christmas Eve.
Okay, I'll definitely take note of that.
Yeah, but to your point, the LSU-Notre Dame game, we had them a couple years ago in the Music City Bowl. And back then, Brian Kelly was talking about the need to get bigger, to be more physical, to have a team that could stand up, to an Alabama like they could not do back in the championship game. And I think they've gotten to that point. They fell off a little bit in November. They were in the midst of the discussion about the playoff, and then lost to Miami, lost to Stanford, and their rushing attack fell off a little bit. But the left side of their offensive line is unbelievable. They should be able to get that back. You're talking about a couple of NFL prospects over there, first-round picks on that left side of the line for them. Their passing game has been a little bit shaky, but if you can get that back, as we think Notre Dame can, that's great for them. I mean, at one point we were talking about Josh Adams as being in the Heisman race over there running behind McGlinchey and Nelson on the left side, and that fell off. So it's important for them. But you think about LSU, and you're right, 10 wins would be huge. They haven't done that in a while. That'd be great for Orgeron. All of the stuff they've gone through this year. And you look at this game, and the real key for me is, does Geis play? And if Geis plays, how healthy is Geis in this game? We know he's going pro. We know that he's been banged up and hasn't practiced a lot, and no decision has been made. But, we're seeing more guys who are first-round picks look at not playing, in particular running backs, because they take such a beating. I don't know how you feel about that, but it's the new reality. You've got guys who look at these games and go, look, I can't take the chance.
Right, because they don't want to get injured, and then all of a sudden the draft stock. I mean, I'm a little conflicted on that. I mean, that's a conversation for another day, but I understand what's at stake. If they get injured, you're talking, first-round projections of millions of dollars and guaranteed money to maybe second or third, where they're scratching and clawing trying to make an NFL team. So,
right.
Listen, Brian Kelly, the rich gets richer today with the 20 players that they signed today. I mean, these are going to be impact players going forward. I know we got to start wrapping up because we're tight on time. I'm curious, out of these potential quarterbacks, and we talk so much NFL on the show, when you look at some of these quarterbacks, first of all, it's not a guarantee that they come out. Out of the ones that are well documented, the Rosens and the Darnolds and the Mayfields and the Jackson, in your estimation, who is the most pro-ready quarterback if they were to come out?
Well, Rosen, in my view, is the most polished quarterback. He's better from the pocket than anybody else right now. He's got an incredible arm, incredible accuracy. I think he has incredible toughness. So if you're talking about a guy who right now could step in and help you win from the pocket, I think it's Rosen. If you talk about what the most upside is, who might be the best quarterback 5 years from now, I think that's Darnold. And I think that's because he's more of a playmaker. He's more athletic. He can make plays on the move, which Rosen really can't do. In terms of accuracy, he's a notch behind Rosen. He probably has a little bit more mechanically to work on because he tends to drop his throwing arm just a little bit. But you can't deny his talent. You can't deny his athleticism. And that's a tough choice. I mean, if you're a team and you think you can win right now and you think you can plug Rosen in, and he can help you in the next couple of years, he's going to be polished and ready to go.
Yeah.
There are a lot of off-the-field concerns, rumors we've heard about teammates not liking him and, is he a true leader and all that stuff, and that will factor in for some teams. No such questions about Darnold. But if you're thinking who's the best guy 5 years from now, I like Darnold, and I think Darnold and Rosen are both coming out.
I'll tell you this in closing. If neither of those quarterbacks come out, then you've got a bunch of teams in the NFL that are going to be scrambling because they're this, right? They're banking on some of these guys coming out because it's a rarity. You don't always get an Andrew Luck, a generational quarterback, to come out.
Right.
And they're looking for that next, or even that next Carson Wentz, that next franchise quarterback. So it'll be fun. All right, well, listen, I appreciate it. I know we're a little tight on time. By the way, listen, have a great holiday. I'm glad to see health is where it should be, and I know you're dealing a couple things. I wish you all the best of luck. Definitely respect that, and definitely inspiring. So keep it rolling with everything you're doing, Rod.
Listen, thank you so much, and just let me remind people out there that one of the best things that you can do for yourself on the health front, get an annual physical. It helps catch things early, and had I not done that, my cancer would not have been caught early. It was, and so the annual physicals are really important. I encourage people to do that every year.
Now, I saw your post chemo CrossFit workout. I was huffing and puffing in 20 minutes.
Oh, it's a killer. It's
yeah,
a killer. You got to do whatever it is that works for you.
All right, exactly. Listen, we'll look for you, listen to you on the radio and, of course, ESPN. Enjoy the bowl games. I appreciate a couple moments, pal. Have a great holiday.
All right. Thanks, pal. Happy holidays.
You got it. Rod Gilmore from ESPN.